Hello and welcome back to Serious About Salvage and another video on the channel. Today, hopefully, well this video should I say, I'm hoping is going to be the final video to the ST200. There's been many videos on this car because we've done a hell of a lot to it. But we do have all these niggly little bits we need to just get finished to mainly get it through MOT. But we've also got this camshaft to crankshaft correlation error that I did touch on at the end of the last video. So that's my first port of call really, because I'm still waiting for washer pump motor, drive shaft, gearbox seal and track red end and the trim under the bumper, mustn't forget that. So we might as well get on with trying to solve this engine management light issue and see if hopefully it's something simple. But worst case, like I said on the last video, we may be having to look at the timing and see, firstly if the timing's out, if the belt's stretched, just stuff like that. I'm kind of hoping it's just as simple as a sensor, because the engine runs mint, absolutely mint. The engine's only got 26,000 on it, and it's from a 17 plate, so it's only 5-year-old, I think. Belt interval is 10 years on these, I think, if I remember rightly, so it's not like it's due a belt. But yeah, well, I mean, we're going to have to do whatever we've got to do. It's just the fact that it runs so well is making me think it's not as serious as a belt being stretched and perhaps just a faulty sensor. So the easiest one to do is going to be the crank sensor. So I'll spin you around and just show you again exactly where it is. This is the old engine and that's the crank sensor. So if we get the ST200 on the ramp, it will be very easy and quick just to whip off the old one and we'll basically fit that one and see what happens. But just to remind you, the fault code that we've got, P0016, crankshaft dash camshaft position coloration, bank 1 sensor A. So I think what it's referring to is obviously the crank position, and I'm gonna suggest camshaft A is the intake cam. Not 100%, it might be the exhaust cam, but anyway, that's the code. So yeah, let's get it on the ramp, get it up in the air, and 10 minutes, we'll have that sensor swapped over and we can just scan it again and see if the code goes. Simple as that really. So fingers crossed. Okay, so I've got the cover off. That covers the crank pulley. And up here I've also unplugged it, and this is the sensor we want to get off. I have just unnipped the bolt, so it wasn't finger tight to start with. So I just whip this bolt out. And hopefully, I'm hoping it's just going to pull out now. Not sure exactly how they're held in, you see. I mean, it doesn't... Oh, maybe. Is it a little... There's a little clip on the back of it. In there, there's a little clip in there. See if I can get a little screwdriver in. It's so cold. It's like 3 PM now, so I mean the sun's starting to go in. Ah, my hands are freezing. Ah, there we go. So there we are, that's the sensor. And I mean, obviously there's no physical damage. But I mean, all we can do is grab the other one. Let's see if we can. Let's move this bumper. Pull the other one off here and see if it makes any difference. There's no point us just diving straight into the most difficult option. We've got this here. Fingers are numb. We might as well try it. Ah, that hurt. That hurt. Let's put this one back in here. Those in like that. Where's the bolt? The bolt's there. I can't feel my fingers. Oh, just get it nipped up for the time being. In fact, it can stay in even if it don't clear the fault. So we'll tighten it up. We know then it's properly done. That's fine. Plug it back on. Yep. And then we need to bring it back down and give it a go. So bear with me a moment. Right, so I'm in the car and I've cleared the cores down. So we now say no faults detected. This is on the engine. I'll escape from that as well actually, just to show. Pass, no faults on the powertrain. Right. So the EC light will go out. There we go. But like I said, it only comes on after 3 or 4 ignition cycles. So it wouldn't come straight back on, even if the fault's still there. Let's give it a second. As you can see, I'm still showing 41 degrees. Maybe it's 1 degree. It might even be minus in here at the moment. It's that cold. So I'm going to have to find an ST180 sensor and a bit of lume for that. See if that solves that issue. Anyway, let's see if we've got anywhere with this. I'm not sure how well it comes out on camera. I know it says key on, engine off, but it doesn't matter. It'll find the fault if it's there. And it does take a little bit to read, because it does do diagnostics on the dash and everything. So I mean, there's not a fault, it just says that it'll clear in a second, and all the lights will come back on in a sec as well. Once, there you go, then they'll go out. It's just testing. See, no faults, no fault cores detected. That's strange, because it's basically saying that we fixed it, but I don't know. So I don't want to rev it too much, because you can see it's coolant's cold. I might have to let this warm up for a little bit to give it a bit of a rev to see if it'll pick anything else up, because at the moment it's showing it to have been of being gone. So I'll come back to you shortly. Hopefully we might have solved it. Right then, it's been running for a while. I've been revving it up. I've cycled the ignition 5 times and the fault has not come back. We're still showing no faults, no dash lights. So perhaps we've got lucky and it is just a case of that sensor. Where have I put it? I put it over here. This is the one from that engine. So yeah, perhaps it is just a case of the sensor, and that's why I couldn't find a reading for it, because it just wasn't reading. But like I said at the beginning, the engine runs fine, it pulls great. It's definitely now out of time. So that's why I didn't think it was anything serious. So fingers crossed. I mean, the guarantee is going to be when I get it back out on the road to take it for MOT and get, you know, some load on the engine. But yeah, I've had the reds right up, turbo spooling, as much as I can do on the spot, and it's not come back. And I'm pretty sure They were instant fault codes before, just kept coming back as soon as you cleared them. So yeah, I'm actually surprised it was that simple, but very thankful. Hopefully that is the end of that issue. So yeah, we're down to track rear end, drive shaft seal for the gearbox, washer pump, which we're waiting for them all, unfortunately. So we'll come back and continue this video when all my parts have arrived. Right, finally we have our parts to finish this ST200. We've got our track rear end, we've got our drive shaft seal, gearbox seal, and we've got a new washer pump motor. Just for anyone who wants to know, genuine Ford drive shaft seal, there is the part number 1543933. That is that. These are handed left and right, so make sure if you're doing a track rear end you get the right end. And that's just a generic Mark 7 Fiesta washer pump motor, they're all the same. So we're good to go. Right, so I've got the wheel off. Should I, I'll just grab a torch so you can see exactly what's going on. Tell you what I'm planning on doing. It's a bit dark in here, so I may or may not do this on camera. I've not decided yet. Let's have a look. So obviously your drive shaft seal is right up behind the drive shaft, where the drive shaft goes into the gearbox. That's your drive shaft seal. You can see how it's all wet around there. So we need to take the drive shaft out. Now, because obviously we need to change the track rear end, we might as well take that off. That disconnects the steering rack from the hub. I probably then will undo the drive shaft bolt, and I think what I'll do is take the bottom ball joint out. I've got a choice, it's either bottom ball joint or disconnect the hub from the straw. I know if I do the bottom ball joint I can get the hub out enough to get the shaft out. I'm not 100% sure whether disconnecting it from the straw I can get it to fold out enough to get the shaft out, so I might as well with what I know will work, even though the ball joints are a bit harder to separate. It'll be the guaranteed way that it will work. It all makes sense to me anyway. So yeah, I'll get that done. Obviously when we reassemble it we'll put the new track rear end on, and the washer pump motor is there, so that's pretty easy to get to. Fingers crossed it is the motor, not the wiring, but it wouldn't be a surprise if I find that there's an issue with the wiring, because there's already a few bits been snipped behind there, weren't there? So we had the mass airflow meter wiring snipped, and we had the outside air temp sensor snipped. Still not got to the bottom of the air temp sensor. I've not messed with it. I've seen your messages regarding holding some buttons in on the climate control to reset it, and someone about setting it from Fahrenheit to Celsius. I think it's in Celsius, so I don't think that's going to work, but I will go through them when we get it back off the ramp and on the floor and see if I can figure out that last little puzzle. And the little splitter for the bottom hasn't turned up yet, so but that can go on any time. You can get MOT'd without that. So yeah, that's the plan of action. I'll perhaps do a little bit of recording when I'm doing that drive shaft seal, because that might be of interest to someone. The disassembling I think I'll just do off camera because it's a bit dark. Still got snow all over the roof lights. It might not look it on camera, but it's quite dark and dingy in here actually. I could do with the door, I might have the door open, makes it a bit colder, but it's actually not that cold today. I don't feel too cold even though there's snow on the ground. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to get on with it for a bit and I will update you in a short while. Right then, I've got the seal swapped over. That is the new seal in there. The old seal fell directly in the tub of oil, so I'm not getting that out to show you. Getting the old one out was tricky, but to put the new one in, I've got these proper seal inserters. So you find the right fitting, that sits just inside the seal, and then you put that handle on the end and you hit it with a hammer basically, and it pushes it in even all the way around. You've got to put them in, you got to hit all the way around at the same time, so it sits inside and then it sits on the edge, and yeah, you just tap it, it goes in. Nice. So yeah, I'm just going to rebuild all this now. I've also already put the new washer pump in. I haven't tested it yet. And the track red end is off. I'll tell you, that was the hardest part of the whole job. I'll show you it. That was part of it. And then I literally had to cut it off because it was seized on. Drive shaft. So I'm going to get this built back up again. Now, camera's playing up, but I have found you can buy batteries for these that they're a different kind of battery that don't lose the capacity when it's cold. So they work a lot better in the cold weather, so I'm going to get one. And hopefully these battery issues will end then, because it's on 91% and it just turned itself off then, same low battery, on 91%. So literally I'm going to have it plugged in all the time, which isn't convenient. Right then, it's actually a few days later now. I got them few bits all buttoned back up. What was it? It was the drive shaft seal, washer bottle, and track red end, all that's all done. And I've just got back from the MOT station for the retest, and it's now passed. So it's got a full MOT on it now. So basically now, oh, and also the other little, you know, trim that, the little trim that goes under the bumper, that's all on now as well. So it's literally finished. This car is now completely finished. Finally, it's been a bit of a do, hasn't it? A bit of a trek getting it over the line. We've done a hell of a lot of work to this car, and it's turned out to be a stunner. It's a great looking car. Very happy with it, actually. Got the ST200 badge back on there now. The only thing I need to do is wash it and clean it out. But I can't do any washing of cars at the moment because everything is frozen solid. There's no water up here at all. That's not frozen. So, and even if there was, as soon as you put water on these cars, if it's not in the sunlight, they turn into ice cubes. So I've got, including this now, I've got 3 cars I need to wash just to put up for sale. And luckily, like today is Friday for me. From Monday next week it's supposed to be a warmer, so hopefully I can get them all washed Monday and get them up for sale, get everything moving. So there's nothing else to do on this car now. I'll wash it, clean it in and out when I can, and if it hasn't sold by then, it'll be going up for sale. So I hope you've enjoyed this build. It's been, like I said, quite a marathon. Been a lot to it, but it's turned out great. It looks really, really good. Drives great, pulls well. Very happy. It's a very, very nice car. So on that note, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to finish this video off and this is the end of this car. So yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do consider subscribing to the channel. A big thumbs up. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Cheers.